Hello QMM1001 students. In this video, I'm going to walk you through Case Study 1, which is your first heavily weighted assignment in the course. You'll access Case Study 1 through Moodle and find a brief introduction to the assessment. This brief introduction explains that on this case study, you will need to collect personalized data from September 8th, when I first introduced the personalized data set, until at least October 16th. If you did not start right on September 8th, that's okay. But the more days that you have of data, the more easily you'll be able to complete the analysis steps. Next, it explains the assignment uploads that will be required. Once you're finished the assignment, you will need to upload your personalized data set as a CSV, your case study report in Word, and an R script with your full code. This whole case study will be due on October the 30th. You must work individually on this assessment. Also, you must not use AI software like ChatGPT just so that you can practice your writing and analysis work. Finally, there's a description of the files that are provided. Case Study 1 contains the full instructions for the case study that we're going to go through in this video. There's also a template and an example of a previous student's case study so you can see the format that I'm expecting. If you need to review any of these requirements at any time, you can watch this video linked that has the instructions for the case study explained. So when you open the first link, Case Study 1, Fall 23, it has the instructions. First, it details the variables that you must collect for your personalized data set. You've been collecting these since Applied Activity 1 in the course. There's 9 variables, 6 are chosen for you, and 3 are variables of your choice that meet specific descriptions. Please continue to collect personalized data on these variables throughout the semester. For Case Study 1, that data should be collected until at least October 16th. Now that you've started to collect your data, what are you going to do with it? The goal of this case study is to use the data to answer 2 questions. What do you do in a day, and do you spend your days how you expect? You're going to answer these questions by using R to analyze the data, and then write up a report with a summary of what you found. The report needs to include 3 sections: an introduction, data analysis, and conclusion. I'll walk you through what needs to go in each of these sections. The report should be formal, but you are allowed to write in first person because you're describing your own personalized data set. Please note that there's no required word limit or page length for the report. You just need to meet all of the requirements. Your final submission will include the 3 files that were also given on Moodle, that R script, the report in Word, and your personalized data set. The whole assessment is due on October 30th. Next, we can go into the detailed requirements. The first section of the report I mentioned was the introduction. In the introduction, you need to tell me what dates you collected data. Ideally, that would be from September 8th to October 16th, but if you collected data over a different time period, you need to tell me what those dates are. You'll create a table that includes all 9 of your variables. Most importantly, you'll need to give me more of a description for variables 7, 8, and 9 because you chose these ones. So I'll need information on how the variable is recorded and if the variable is categorical or quantitative. You'll have this information for all of the 9 variables. I'll also need an extra explanation for why you chose variables 7, 8, and 9, which are personal to you. Why do you want to track that information? You'll need to exactly restate the 2 questions from the report and then provide a brief list of the methods we'll use in the case study, such as analyzing categorical information, analyzing quantitative information using measures of center and spread, and correlation and regression. Finally, you'll move on to the data analysis section. The data analysis section is where you'll actually perform different steps in R. In the report, you'll need to explain the results that you got from that data analysis, while also including examples from your daily activities. What do I mean by that? For example, if you find that there's an outlier, that you're only sleeping for 0 hours on one night this semester, you wouldn't only say that you found that as an outlier, you need to provide an example of why that happened. Like, I did not sleep on one night before my midterm assessment was due in order to finish the assessment before the deadline. That's an example of your daily activities that helps to explain the result. Once you get into the data analysis section, you will need to perform the following calculations. For each categorical variable, so if you go back up to the top of the assessment, you'll have to figure which of these are categorical variables, and then for each of the categorical variables in the personalized data set, you'll need to create a frequency table, an appropriate visual display, and a contingency table. In each part, you will have to interpret the results. Again, that means relating it to your daily activities, as highlighted here. Then you'll move on to the quantitative variables. Again, from the list of variables 1 to 9 that you need to collect, you'll need to identify which are quantitative, and then, for each quantitative variable, create a histogram, calculate the measures of center and spread listed here, calculate if there are outliers, and determine the correlation coefficient. At each step, you should be interpreting results in relation to your daily activities, as highlighted here. And finally, you'll have a section on correlation and regression. For correlation and regression, you need to determine the strength and direction of the relationship for the highest correlated variables, check the conditions of correlation regression, find the regression line, make a scatter chart, and use the line for a prediction. Again, when appropriate, you should be providing interpretations here related to your daily activities, as highlighted here. Finally, when you're done the data analysis section, you're going to write a conclusion. In that conclusion, you need to provide an answer to the question, what do you do in a day? Provide an answer to the question, do you spend your days how you expect? And then also make a general conclusion about what you learned about yourself. Are there any changes you want to make for the rest of the semester based on what you learned by analyzing your data set? For the format of the report, I do have a checklist for you to follow. The font should be size 12. There should be the 3 sections, introduction, data analysis, and conclusion. You're allowed to write in the first person. And most importantly, I need to see the visualizations and tables you create in R embedded within the report. There's no specific style you have to have for tables and visualizations, but they should be consistent and look professional. Also, make sure you're including your examples of daily activities to support your analysis. You need to have at least 5 of those. In terms of what you should not include in the report, you should not include any R code, and you should not include any steps from the case study. What I mean by that is you shouldn't say the answer to question 1, 2, or 3 is. You need to actually explain what you're doing at every step so an outside reader would understand it. Like, for example, here's a table where I calculated summary statistics for each of these variables instead of just repeating the questions. There is a full marking guide on the final page of this assessment here, and it is also embedded within Moodle that shows you the full grading breakdown. However, if you want to know more about format, there are 2 more files provided in Moodle that are meant to help you with the format of the case study. We have a template here and a student example here. First, if you open the template, you'll see a student example title page where you can add your name and student number. It also has headers where you can put your introduction, data analysis, and conclusion sections. You would just need to fill in your text here to begin the report. Finally, there's the full marking guide so that you have that for reference throughout the entire submission. The last file is an example of case study 1 completed by a previous student. Their name has been removed for anonymity, but I did have their permission to share this file. Please note that when this case study was completed, the assignment requirements have changed slightly since this time in terms of what variables you need to collect and what you need to do with them. So you cannot follow the exact examples for the data analysis section from this submission, but you can follow the format. They have really nicely formatted tables. They have a good introduction section. You can clearly read the data analysis section where you can see all visualizations and tables that they created. There's a clear breakdown of what they're doing at every step without repeating the assignment questions. That part is so important. They're explaining what they're doing in terms of their analysis, showing their results in tables and charts without repeating the questions from the case study instructions. Finally, they have their conclusion section clearly labeled at the end. So you can use this file as an example of the format of your case study and what it should look like. Finally, I have a page that has general timelines for the case study. Once you're done everything, so you've collected your personalized data, you've written your report in Word, and you have your R script with all of your code in it that you use to get the results, You're going to update all 3 files in Moodle before October 30th at 11:59 p.m., and that will be your submission for case study 1. If you have any questions about the case study, please contact your professor or rewatch this video at any time. Thanks for watching.